Hi, welcome to the third and final video in series How to Create Team Selection UI. In the previous two videos, we created custom widget button, which looks like a banner, and then used it to create animated custom team selection widget. We finished set up all bindings inside widget and prepared all required devices. And in this video, we will write a verse code to actually make all this to work. And finally, I would like to say that recently my channel reached 3,000 subscribers, and as a thank you to you all for your support, you can download source files of this project for free on my Patreon. So let's begin. Okay, so I will delete trigger device from the last video. Okay, let's expand that and make sure there is nothing left from the trigger device. Okay, so again, we're not displaying it automatically. We will do this through the code. And then we have already our UI, which is this, already ready with all our bindings. So if you don't have this yet, please watch previous two videos to get it. Okay, so let's start. So I don't see my Verse Explorer, so I need to click here, then Verse Explorer. Then let's create new file, selection device. So I will jump there. Bigger. I don't need this. Team selection device. You can have it in your folder or in the root. I will just put it in my folder, but it's not so important because I'm not directly working with the files. Where is it? There is my folder with team selection. I will just check to be sure. Yeah, this is my team selection. So I just want it to be in this folder. Because basically then I will zip everything together for you as a source files. Okay, so is that, then I will select that and just drag and drop it in here. So click move and it's fine. Okay, so I can delete that. We need on begin, but I will delete everything else. For now, I will just write block so we don't have any errors. Okay, just in case to see, I will again build verse code just to make sure that maybe it didn't like that I moved it, but now it's fine. Okay, so we can begin. First of all, I will create, while I remember, tag for the spawners. Because maybe you have 2 spawners, maybe you have 4, maybe you have 20, right? So it would be painful manually adding it. So we will use spawner class side will be tag and curly brackets. So I have error because I need this using tags. Let's copy it here. Okay. So again, while I remember, I will build verse code. So when we adding tag, then we need to build verse code. Then we need to go here, add, let's look for verse tag markup. And then in here, there is my team selection spawner. So team selection, it basically says in what folder it is, and then spawner. So as you can see, I have in the ranking system spawner tag, and then in this one is tag. Okay, so I just added it there, and then I will just create few copies. Then people can join us to test. Again, 16, 5 teams, fine. Yep. So now, first I add a tag and then duplicate it because now each of them will have same tag. Yep. Okay. Okay, we know now that we added it and it will work. Okay, so now let's add these different references. So first, let's add our UI. editable, selection UI. Basically specifying private or public parameter, like variable, sorry. It's basically like, can other classes, can other devices access this directly or not? So when we're specifying private, it means only this device, only this class can work with that. Okay. Now let's add all these team selection devices. Will be array because we have 5 of them. There's no point to do all separate. So it's called class and team selection selector device. Okay. Yeah, audio player. So there will be sound when player selects, basically clicks and selects team. Because as I mentioned in the previous videos, I can't play that in UI because UI will close immediately. So then no audio will play on a click. It will be audio player device. Okay. Then let's add how many maximum players do we want per team. I'm using this as an editable. So then outside of the verse, whoever will set up this, they can choose, right? So max team players will be integer, and I will set it to 4. Then this will be selection time. Again, I'm doing this as editable. Then player, not player, but basically creator or designer can set it outside of the verse. So it will be not selection player, selection timer, maybe timer. And this will be float. And I will set to 15. Basically, what it means is when player join game, they will see this UI. And then if for 15 seconds they're not choosing team, we will choose for them automatically. Because maybe player is AFK or something. Yep, so we will do it. And we will select random team for them. Okay, now we're finished with editables, now variables. So it will be player count. And this will be array per each team. So basically it will be array of integer like that. And I will straight away add numbers like 0, 0, 0, 0. So basically we have 4 teams, and we will be checking when this integer is 4. It means it's a full team. It's, for example, if it's 3 and maximum is 4, it means we still have space. So it's again, instead of having all separate these per team variables, we can just store them in array. And why already adding these numbers? Because basically I will be checking straight away like how many, like is it less than maximum or not? And if we're not adding this, it means array is empty. So it's not even 0, it's null. It's none, right? Nothing is in there. And if you will compare that with maximum value, so basically you comparing with a 0, nothing with a 0, it will always fail. So it means then we need to add basically extra parameter checking, is it valid? So basically, do you have any values inside of it or not? We don't need that. We know that we're not going beyond 4 values. We just can put these 4 zeros and then it will work. Okay. Then we will use map just to know what player in what team. It will be players team, and this will be agent, agent player, yeah, agent, and then integer. So basically it will be, we can use agent as a key, and we will it will return for us integer, which will specify what team is it. Okay, and two final things, because we will need to show some stuff in UI, and this is message, and we have or values like integer, float, or a string and not message, so we need to convert them into the message. So basically first will be string to message, localize this, type, and then it will be message, brackets, and string. So we can call this string to message, we can send string, and it will convert this to message. And last one, it will be team count message. Again, I'm calling it string to message, team count to message. You can call it as you like. Okay, so in this one, I'm sending integers, as you can see. So there will be two values, maximum and current, because we can set, yeah, it's a 4 in UI and never change. But again, if someone will decide to change this instead of 4, maybe 6, and then you need to go to UI that, but this automatically will update UI as well. So then you don't need to. Like that. Actually, yeah, player count in this one, because this is in an array. I will add like players count, yeah, because then this one had same name as this one, that's why it was erroring. It's almost done here. Is just only if we will send these values as is, it will be, let's say, it would be like looking like this, yeah, like 0 and 4. Maybe you want that, maybe it's fine, but I think it looks interesting when it looks like that, yeah, like 0 0 and then 0 4. So basically you have 0 in front, and then for example if you would have 1, so you have like 1 2, write that. And how to do it, it basically, I will just add 0 here and 0 here. Okay, so we're done with preparations. Now what we want, okay, first let's initialize our spawners. So we need spawners, yeah, we'll specify in the functions as well, private. Okay, so we have that, then we're not passing anything, then we have void, and we need to get our this spawners. So we will use find creative object objects, multiple objects with tag, then spawner, then object. Actually, this is spawners again. This is multiple of them. Spawners, spawner. Now we're getting basically one single one. So it will be player, spawner, device. Basically, first we're finding all with this tag, yeah, with our spawner tag. This will be ours. Then because this is array, it gives us array. Then we go through array with for loop. So basically it means we go from beginning to the end, and we just using this as tag for this individual. But it's still creative object interface, as you can see. It's not our spawner. So then basically we're using this is as a if I could write it here as a separate line if, but we can write it here. So basically we're just saying we're taking this and then we're putting this object and then we're checking if this is spawner. And if it's spawner, so then we just have our spawner now. So we have that, then we need to subscribe for spawn of the player. So spawner, then let's look what it is. So as you can see, I can hold control and click, and actually now I can't, because basically if you have error in code, as you saw now, so I couldn't click, but now I just removed that and now I can click. So hold control, click, and we see this is spawner and this is our event. So spawner dot, then event, then dot scribe, and let's call it on player spawned. And yeah, that's it in this. So now on player spawned. So pretty much everything in this code will be private. But again, if you want something to access it directly, so then you can specify as a public. Okay. So in this one, if you will hover on this spawned event, you can see it says listenable and then agent. So it means it will pass to us agent when it will call this our function. So we need to save it. So agent of type agent. Then it's still void. And what we do with that. So first of all, we will show our UI, of course. Yeah. So team selection UI, which is this one, and then show an agent. So it means when player will spawn, he will see that. If you want, so every time when player will spawn on the spawners, he will see again to choose a team. If you don't want that, you can put some logic again, like checking, because again, we have, where are you? This map. So you can grab a map, you can check in what team player is. And then if, for example, if it's in team 5, which is like neutral, then you can show this UI. If it's not, then don't show. But in this case, I will do it that it's always will show. Okay, so we're showing that. And let's now create function before updating team for the player. Let's create a function which will wait for any interaction with UI. So await UI interaction. And I'm not passing anything, but it will be on suspense and wait. So let's add loop, and I can add sleep, will be at the end. Now agent and button. 1 second, I will explain. Team selection UI. And let's click on this one. And we have responding button event. And we can see that it basically gives us tuple. So it's agent and integer. So who clicked on a button in UI and then button index. So that's why I'm calling it like agent and button. So is that, then, whoops, what happened? Didn't copy that. Okay. And now dot and await. So when we will call this function, it will start this loop, but it will stop on this one until someone will click. So basically it will listen to button instructions like clicking of the button. The moment it will click, then it will give us this and it will execute the rest of the code. And then when it will finish executing code, it will go back because it's a loop and it will never end. So basically we're controlling this loop. Okay, so to make it easier than to work, I will just split it. So I will get agent, which is agent and button, and then 0, because in a tuple, agent comes first, and then button index will be agent and button and 1. So we basically split them in separate. Okay, now if the let's get how many players we have in the team which this player selected, right? So button index. So players in team, players count, and button index. So we have, again, this is our array, and we then saying, do we want first value, second, third, fourth? So we're getting that value, and will be our players in the team. And then straight away we can compare that with our maximum value. So players in team, it's lower than max. What was that? Max team players. So basically, we're grabbing how many players we have, we're comparing, and if in the team it's less than maximum, so it's less than 4, then we will execute this stuff. So if set players count, so same array, we need to update now, add basically 1 to it. So then next time when someone will try to press this one, it will already be updated. Then what we want. So we have player, we can play sound, audio player, play, and to our agent, our agent. Okay. And let's from here create another function. So we will call update player team. And we will send agent, and button index will be for our team index. Okay. Well, I remember I will create extra variable, but I will comment it for the second. But just like so, I will remember. So I will update count UI, and then I comment it. So basically, this will be function where we will refresh and update how many players inside of each team. Okay, so now let's create this function for update player team. Okay, so we need to receive agent and team index. Okay, now if maybe select enough team selection devices. Okay, basically we sending this index, we're receiving, and we inputting it into team selection devices right in here. Team selection devices. Okay, select and change team or agent. I will go here so you can see class and team selected device and all that. We already set what team player will be assigned, so we don't need to specify anything. We just need to specify what device. Okay, and then then what we already now applied. So player now got that team assigned, and we need to update that in a map. So if set players team will be our agent, team index. So we now set whatever that value was, yeah, because agent and then integer, we're overwriting it with this. And then again, we will call update count UI. And now we can actually create it. Let's uncomment that one as well. So instead of just go with ifs, right? Like if index it's 0, write that text. If index it's 1, and so on and so forth. We will just use for loop, and we will go through all, let's go array. Yeah, this array. So we will do for index, then count in players count. So we're getting an index, and then also basically what team is it, and then how many players there. So team selection UI, and we will do set button text. If you remember, if you watched previous videos, so I was saying like I binded text of the count of the players to buttons, because in pop-up dialog device we can set text for the 6 buttons, and because we're actually not using that binding for the buttons, we can actually use this for the text. So like anything can use it. So while here we're specifying this is for the button, but actually widget can use it to whatever it wants. So set button text, and in here we need to call now this one, team count to message. So team count to message, and again brackets, and then count. So we need to send, as you remember, 2 integers, player count and maximum. So this is our count. So this is what we get from our array. And then, yeah, just max players. So we've done in here. So we basically input it indirectly in here, but we could have it as a separate line again. There's no need for that. So we wrote that, and then why error? Because like we still need to specify what button we're setting, right? So then we can come here and just write index, right? That's why it's cool. So like instead of doing many ifs, again, we're getting like, because it will go in order. So 0 and count, and it will be like, this will be 0 and our count. Then it will be 1 and count. Again, 1 and count. Okay. And now we need to refresh this UI, because when you set the text, it won't update on the screens. So if someone will saw, let's say like 0, you updated this, player will still see 0 until you refresh, and refreshing you by command show again. But again, you don't want to show to all players, because some players will have already team selected and not see UI. So you don't want to show that. And what we will do in here, so for agent, so this is our key, and then player team, this is our value, and then in players team, then player team equal 4, and like that. Okay, so what I'm doing there, so players team, it's our map. Where are you? This is players team map. So we accessing our players team on the for loop again in order. We getting integer from that. So basically we getting what player, yeah, so we're getting this agent, and then we're getting in what team he is. And then I'm checking if player team is 4. So 4 is our last one. And because we're starting with a 0, so 4, it means 5. So it means fifth team. And fifth team, it's neutral. And we know that if player didn't selected anything in UI, so it means his team will still be 4. So we then know that player with a player team 4, it's still not selected anything. And we just need to refresh UI for that player. So team selection UI, show agent. Yeah, to this agent. So it will go through whole that loop. Wherever not selected gets UI updated. Okay, so that's good. Then we need to go back to our beginning on begin play, and we need update player team. Okay. So we need initialized as spawners. Maybe even before that, let's do update just count UI, because basically it will be like not even zero, it will be empty. That in the last video when we checked, you saw that maybe like you didn't see any numbers here because it was empty. So we want to specify straight away, like on the begin play. So we're calling that, and we need to call this one. So then we can listen to UI. Okay, and on a player spawned, I want update player team on player spawned. So we're showing UI, and let's see, that's before showing UI even. Let's call that, and it will be agent. So in update player team function, we need to send agent and team. And we know that we're sending this agent, but then what index it should be for, because basically we want on spawn, we want assigned neutral this team always, like last one. So then because like this island settings can assign to any team, but we want only for this team. Okay, so this one is done. Let me see. Okay, let's now assign to this random team if player not selecting anything. So we can add it here. We can do start selection timer, and it will be suspense. We'll put sleep. We don't need to do any manual calculation here because we're not doing every second something or every frame. We just need to wait for this amount, and amount, it will be our selection timer, like that. So we can call it in here. So on the begin, we will start this timer. It will wait for now 15 seconds or whatever you will set. And now let's do something. So now for agent in player team, players team. So basically we're accessing map. Okay. So it's something similar what with the UI refreshing, yeah, just only for the player who is in the neutral team, yeah, like last team. And here it's as well. After time run out, we will check if player still in that neutral team. It means it didn't select anything. Then we can call function assign team, and we can just send agent. Let's ignore that. Why I'm doing this with a suspend? Because I want it to loop. And why I want it to loop? So basically I want to generate a random integer and then grab count based on this integer, grab count from that team. And if it will show less than 4, assigned player to that. If it's 4, it means player can be assigned to that team. We're finishing loop and we're starting again. We're generating new random integer. We're again checking team and again, and it will go fast, like until it finds team where it's less than 4 and it assigns. So get a random int, and we know it's between 0 and 3. So we have only 4 teams. We have error because we need this using random. Okay, yeah. And then we need to check that. So if, again, agent as key, no, this wrong one will be straight away. We can check count, players, count. We accessing now array, not map, passing this integer, random integer. We're checking if this count is less than maximum players allowed. And if yes, then we do update player team. And again, we're passing this agent and the random integer as an index. And last thing, what we can do in here is just close our UI, because we selected team for the player automatically. Team selection UI, height, agent. Okay, and for that agent, we will close UI. Oh, and actually, when we're done, we want to break this loop. Otherwise, we will assign this agent to the team, and then it will go and go forever. So we want to break this loop. Okay, that's done. And last thing, what we want to do, it's basically if player left the game, we want to clear map. That player is not there. And we want to remove it like -1 to do to player count. So in here, let's do get play space. Player removed event. Let's call function on the player left, or just on player left. And if we hover over that, we see that it will give us player, not agent, but player. So let's add it on the end. On player left. Okay. Let's grab team index. Basically, we need to know in what team player was before even removed, because if we will clear map, then we don't know from what team we need to subtract. So team index, players team, leaving player. Okay. Now we can set players count, team index 1 equal minus equal 1. Then I missed G, leaving. Okay, so we subtracted from this team count. This is fine. Now we can update count UI, because this thing changed. Then let's create new map. New players team map. This will be agent. Now let's do for loop. Player. Player. Let's it be player team. It will be single. And this will be players team. Yeah. We're going for the map, current map, players team. We're getting player and the team. And we're basically saying when the player, it's not equal. So this means not equal to living player. So we don't want keep living player in the map. So basically, if it's not, then we adding this player back to the new map, and we will ignore living player. So option, new players, team map, player, well, player, team. So it will add all players and teams to this new map. And now we need to set it back to our current map. So players team. So this is our current and main map, equal to new players team. And we've done. I will just go and check. We have all our variables. On begin, start selection, assigning random team, initializing spawners, then a player spawned, assigning team, showing UI, waiting for interaction in UI, updating player team, updating count in UI, and controlling player left. Yep, looks good. So let's go back here. Let's build VS Code. This is our device. Okay, we don't need to see it. Then team selection UI. So this is our pop-up dialog device. Audio player. So then maximum team players, yeah, we can set 4. That, and then we need add all 5 this to array. And order really matters. So this one first. This is team 2. This is 3. This is 4. And this is 5. And we're done. So let's push changes and test. Okay, so now let's test. So I have few friends helping me, and then we'll see. So when they will select teams, you can see now in this team we have 1 player. Yeah, and then when I didn't select it, so I was assigned automatically to another team. Okay, let's now try again. Now you can see that more players joining last team. And I still have space if I click. And we all of us, it's in a team 4. Okay. So yeah, so it's really working well. So automation is working, and UI is working, selection, teams, of everything is working fine. So hopefully you will enjoy this. And again, thank you for whole support you doing, and because of the 3K subscribers, so you can grab everything code and all this UI for free from my Patreon. So have fun. I would like to say thank you to my all supporters. I appreciate your support. Thank you for your generosity. You can get project files on my Patreon or just buy me a coffee to support me. If you're interested in learning more about UEFN materials, coding, widget UI, and more, you can join our growing Discord community where we like to discuss UEFN tips and tricks, showcase our work, and help each other. You can find link in the description or in the channel header.